This is Jeff Altgilbers, and I want to welcome all of you to our Monday mentoring call, April 28th. I'm a Platinum International Diamond with 4Life Research, and so for those of you that are new and this is your first time to our call, I want to welcome you. Again, just to let you know the purpose of our Monday mentoring calls, it is what it suggests, and that is mentoring. And that is trying to give direction to those in 4Life who've just joined, whether you're a new member or have been an existing member for some time. Give you some direction in the business and help put you on the fast track. That's really important because I saw this over the last 25, maybe 30 years, that many people are sponsored in this industry, but they're never trained. They're never given the nurturing that they really need from somebody that has experience or has direction. And so as a result, they're what we call orphans. And so they really, really don't succeed in this business because of the fact that, they just weren't trained. And we don't want that to happen to you. And that's the purpose of our Monday night calls. So these aren't opportunity calls because you've already been sold into this. So I'm not going to resell you. But I'm so glad that all of you made it. And what I wanted to share tonight, and the theme of this subject will be your first 90 days, your next 90 days. Your first 90 days, your next 90 days. Your first 90 days if you're new in this business. And maybe you've signed up 2 or 3 months ago, but you're finally getting around to looking at your business in the box kit that you get from 4Life. Some call that a distributor kit. But it's going to be a kit that has literature and DVDs and different things that explain the product and the business and maybe the compensation plan. For you new ones, then that's going to be your first 90 days. In other words, when you're ready to kick the ball and get started with this, it's your first 90 days. For those of you that have been in 4Life for some time, and you sort of fumbled the ball, or you fumbled your way through this, and you haven't experienced the kind of success that you want to experience in this business, maybe you weren't trained correctly, or for whatever reasons you've been distracted by issues or problems in your life, but now you're really ready to get this thing moving, it's going to be your next 90 days. So whether it's your first 90 days or your next 90 days, it doesn't matter. And for those of you that have been successful in this business, what are you going to do your next 90 days? Then this is for you too. I want to share with you a little bit about, my first 90 days when I came into this business. And my first 90 days when I joined 4Life, I can tell you that I had one thing on my mind and one thing only. And that was that I wanted to make $5,000. I wanted to see a check with $5,000 and my name on it. That was important to me because I wanted to be able to immediately, as fast as I could, launch my lifestyle. And that is pay my bills, travel, do what I needed to do. And it was going to take that to do it. And so my 90-day mindset was at the end of 90 days to have a check for $5,000. And did I achieve it? Absolutely, I did. I did achieve that. I can tell you my first check was only a few $100s. My second one was $1,000. My third one was over $5,000. And I did that with average people. Average, not professional networkers. These were people that had jobs, had families, and all that. But the one thing that we all had in common was we had a love for our product transfer factor, and we believe very strongly in it. And so because of that, we were very passionate about sharing it. And we kept our presentations very simple. We didn't go out and do meetings. What we did was we had a 800 hotline where Dr. Rob Robertson, he's the master distributor of 4Life Research. He was the first one to sign up. Dr. Rob did a superb job in explaining the transfer factor and the story behind it. And so what we did was we simply would call a friend and share that 800 number with them, make it a point to call them back, hopefully that day or the next day, and then we would enroll them. And we just kept it simple. And if we called them back and they hadn't had a chance to call and listen with them, we would just three-way that message into it. We put in 800 people in 90 days. 800 people. Because we kept it simple. We didn't complicate it. We didn't travel, go do meetings or anything like that. We just said, listen to the message. What do you think? Are you excited? Do you see yourself using the product, or can you use extra money? Oh, you can use extra money. Okay, great. Then what we got to do, let's just get you started. You can run with us, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. And we'd enroll them, and that's how we did it. That's how I did it. My first 90 days, simplicity, not trying to build on a meeting model, because it doesn't work. If you got contacts spread all over the country, how in the world are you going to get them to a meeting? How are you going to travel to do all those meetings in all those different towns and cities? It's not very practical, is it? So we kept it simple. So for you new ones that are really you're recently signed up in For Life, you're just getting started. Then what you want to do is I've made a list of a few things that you need to do. The one thing, and I didn't do this back when I signed up with For Life Research because the internet was sort of something, it was new then. But now today, this would be expected for you new ones. When you sign up in For Life, what your sponsor should have done, and hopefully they did this, the second thing they should have enrolled you in is the IMT system. And the IMT system, as some of you know, consists of getting your own website. It's free. You'll have your own password secured back office where you go in the back office and you can upload your photo and your bio and a video as well of yourself if you would like, and get your website up and running. And then you also have the tools in your back office necessary for you to build a business and get your business off to a fast start. That's very important that you do that, is get that website up, because until you do, you're really not in business. That website acts as a lead capture page, too, for anybody that you send the link to, or they click on your link if they see it on a social media platform like Facebook. And when they to go into that presentation, they have to fill out the form on your lead capture page. Once that happens, then you're emailed that this person is looking at your site and your presentation and all that, and then you know how to contact them. But so you have the tools back there, as well as the ebook. You need to spend some time learning the basics, you new people. And that is, you can go over that distributor kit that For Life will send you, look at the DVDs, spend some time understanding the basics about the compensation plan. There's a video in the IMT system where I explain the compensation plan in a very, very layman terms, very basic. For example, I don't get into the details. What is a generation compared to a level? What's the difference? I don't get into pass-through infinities. That blows people out. Frankly, nobody really even cares. Nobody cares really in understanding the intricacies of the compensation plan until they're making money. Then they want to become experts. But in the video that I explain it based on everybody moving 2 bottles, or consuming 2 bottles rather, or 100 life point purchase. I explain it that way. So that's very understandable to new people. And for you new ones coming in, you need to understand those simple basics, because they're very powerful. It really shows what you can really earn in 90 days. The other thing is, you need to spend some time understanding our flagship product, Transfer Factor Plus. We have a broad product line. frankly, what drove my business my first 90 days was transfer factor, because that's all we had. And because of that, it, I guess, in a way, forced simplicity, because we didn't try to explain anything else. We just kept it down to that, and we told the transfer factor story. That's all I do today as well. I don't get into the other products. You know, I look at it like a dress shop, and you ladies can appreciate this. Some of the nice shops that you see in the cities that you do business in, whether it's Orlando, New York City, wherever, you know, when you look at a dress shop, do they put everything they sell in the dress shop? No, they don't. They'll put something very nice in that window, something that will catch your eye. And what does it do? It draws you ladies into it. And then what do? They'll sell you that. They'll sell you shoes. They'll sell you purses or jewelry. You know, it's just a variety of products. So I look at our flagship just like that. It's in the window. And that's our Transfer Factor Plus. That is the ultimate immune system product. And that is our flagship product. Now, again, we need to understand the transfer factor story. And you new people, you new leaders, please spend time and understand a little bit about the history. You know, the 1940s, Dr. Lawrence was the first one to really identify and understand what transfer factor was. And we keep it very simple. Our message, what it is, it's an information molecule. It is for the immune system what software is for a computer, or you could say what antivirus is for a PC. When we use explanations like that, then people can understand it, they can get it. We need to just get those expressions, those cliches down, and then pretty much stick with that. And then we're able to tell a little bit about the product. Not a lot, and we certainly don't want to get in the deep science with people. We don't need to, because they certainly don't want to repeat it. But they need to understand some basics. They need to understand it's not a vitamin, it's not a mineral, it's not an herb. It's an information molecule. Your immune system responds to information. That's why people get immunization shots, right? Okay. Basic principles like that. Spend time, you new people, understanding the very thing I just said, and learn how to repeat it. And that will give clarity to people that when you're prospecting people, when they're asking you, just like I did. When I first heard about it, I said, wow, transfer factor, that's a weird name for a product. And you can laugh and say, yeah, you're right. Let me tell you the transfer factor story. Because that's what we're doing. We're borrowing immunity from one source to another. And we can explain about our product. Now, the other thing that you new leaders want to do is you want to make a list of prospects while you're learning. You can spend a week, your first week, really just going through the kit, going through the website. Read my ebook, Your Guide to Financial Freedom. Read that book. It explains the 10 steps of duplication. That's going to be very important to your success. But while you're learning, you can start making that list of prospects, people that you want to call on, people that you want to talk to. And then when you finally get through, and if it takes you 2 weeks to really get through everything, that's fine. But spend time getting where you know that back office, you know the book, you know your For Life distributor kit, you know everything that's in it. Even go to the For Life website and look at some of the news that's developing in the organization. And then what you want to do is then develop a self-employed mindset. And that is, understand, if you've been a person that maybe you've worked a job all your life, they tell you when to come to work, when you can leave, when you can have a vacation, how long you're going to have that vacation for. You might have been in that mode maybe for many years. Understand, in this business, we have to have a self-employed mindset. And that is, we're going to decide what hours we're going to work. Now, in my case, I went from what they call 8 to faint. That is, 8 in the morning till I fainted. Like I said, my goal in 90 days was to get to $5,000. And I really busted it. I really busted it hard because I wanted to get there like a madman. Now, not everybody's like me, and that's okay. You don't have to be. But you have to just set some goals and decide where you want to be. Where do you want to be your first month in this business? And your goal might be a simple goal of sponsoring 3 people so that you can qualify for the power pool. And for those of you that are new, the power pool is where the company sets aside 3% of the world volume into a pool. When you sponsor 3 people and they stay active the second month, you qualify to be paid out of that pool. Now, 2% is paid out in monies, 1% in trips to 5-star locations and all that. So if that's your goal the first month is just to be in the power pool, that's a worthy goal. Definitely a worthy goal. And it might be you might want to earn your first month a few $100s, or that's fine, or $500, that's fine. But then the second month, where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? So those are things that you can think about. But to have a self-employed mindset means we have to dedicate time for it. So I didn't dedicate a lot of time when I was first starting to, leisure activities, golfing, doing things, going to the movies, all that, I was really focused my first 90 days. Once you do that, you establish, and why it's important is you establish momentum. Momentum is speed. It's like, when you get on a plane, right? Can you just imagine, you only got so much, what's the word, I guess an airfield that a plane is on. It's only so long, right? There's only so much distance. That plane's got to be off when that runway runs out, right? If not, it's going to be a crash and burn. So look at your business that way for those of you that are real serious. Think about it. You've got to have momentum. That plane's got to really build up some speed in order to get off that running track. If it doesn't, it's going to crash and burn. So look at your business that way. What I did, and my goal was back then, and I averaged 3 people a month. 3 people a month when I was working the business. And we didn't have Power Pool then. But I think a very doable goal for most of you people that are serious, I'm talking about serious about experiencing serious money, is sponsor 6 people your first month. And then sit down with those leaders and make sure that they do the very thing that I just went over you with. And that is that they spend time getting educated. They're learning about our product. They learn about the basics of our compensation plan. They get their website set up. They read the ebook. They understand this business very well. They've made their prospect list. They've gone over it with their sponsor. And so that those 6 people are trained. They're very trained your first month in the business. And then the second month is you'll want to keep enrolling. You'll want to enroll at least a minimum of 3 new people. A minimum. And there's a reason for that, because after you've enrolled 6 people, that doesn't mean that 6 people are going to stay in this business and drive it. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody performs the same. Everybody's different. Some people come in this business, I always say that we have people that are full-time, people that are part-time, and people that are no-time. You just don't see them. They just don't show up. The ones that are part-time are people that just sponsor now and then. They use the products, they sponsor now and then. And then the people that are full-time, they are people that are focused on sponsoring. So you don't know how many that will be. You can enroll 6 and have 1 that might be serious. You could enroll 6 and they might all be part-time. So in your second month, you're going to want to enroll 3 new members and spend time like you did with those 6, and then making sure they do all the things that I just discussed with you. Go over those things and make sure that they're trained. Because ultimately what you're wanting to do is establish, at least your first year, 2 solid teams. 2 solid teams. 2 solid teams will make you a presidential. 2 solid teams can get you to international diamond. International diamonds make a lot of money for life research. By the way, my wife's an international diamond. I mean, and she makes a lot of money, but she can't tell you the first thing about the compensation plan. Can't tell you the first thing. But international diamonds do very well. And then by that second year, you'll really want to establish a 3rd leg so that you can go to gold. Eventually, you'll want your 3 legs to all be gold legs, and that way you can be a platinum. You know, if everybody does that, you know, if they come in and they duplicate 6 and at least maintain 6, if you go 4 levels deep, you're over, you know, based on 100 LP, you're over 17,000 a month. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So that's what you really want to do the first year, is develop, just see yourself, see that plane, especially your first 90 days or your next 90 days. You're on that airfield, you hear those engines, I mean, just barreling, and man, it's full speed ahead because you're leaving that airport. Develop that self-employed mindset. Don't let anything get in the way of you. Somebody, you know, people call you and they want you to look at other programs. Just tell them you're focused. I had a man call me today, a good old buddy. He goes, we go back, I don't know, 25 years ago. We were in a company together, and he called me today, and you know, he was starting his own company. He wanted me to join him to be the first, you know, master distributor of that company. And I said, no, I'm married. I'm married to this company. I love this company. Well, you know, that's the way I started my first 90 days. When I had people calling me wanting to look at this program, look at that program, another company, I'd say, you know what? I want to wish you all the best, all the success. But as you know, you can't make it in anything if you're not focused. And I'm focused. And that's it. I just wouldn't waste my time. The other thing is that when you make that list, then you're ready to go. You've been trained. You understand the importance of not trying to explain the opportunity, but invite people to look at it. You want to recruit up, not down. That is, you want to look for people that want to be financially independent. They want to be self-employed and not work for a company. They really want to be free. And then you want to also follow up and follow through. That is, once you shared that link with them, they saw your presentation that you've emailed them, or maybe they saw it, maybe you met them at a coffee shop, or perhaps it was a meeting you were doing. Whatever the case is, once they've seen that presentation, then what you want to do is simply get them to join with you. And then follow through, and that is make sure that once they join, they're following the very steps that you followed. Now, for the existing leaders, that's those of you that have been in for life, your next 90 days, what will that look like? Whatever that is, I don't care whether you've been in 4 years, 10 years, you need to work through your leaders to find better leaders. That was really the key to my success, because the people that joined with me were not the people that finished with me. The people that joined with me were not the people that finished with me. What I mean is, a lot of the people that joined with me, they didn't stay with it. They're still in the product, a lot of them, but they did not stay with the business. Some of them went off to money games. Some of them went, I don't know, for whatever reason, they quit. But you know what I did was I always worked with the people that they left behind. Or the existing leaders, I would work through them and say, well, who do you know? Who do you know? And they'd say, well, I know so-and-so. I said, okay, tell me about them. Who are they? They got experience in this industry? Great. Let's call them. Let's call them together. That was the thing. I always work through my leaders to find better leaders. So for you existing leaders, do that. You know, one of the biggest mistakes people make and why they fail in this business is they simply don't work with their people. Second is know your leaders and help them to get better ranked. Know what's going on with the leaders in your organization. It's one thing to know your front line, but getting to know people down in your second and your third, your fourth, even further down. If you find some talented person that you met them at the convention or you met them over the phone, maybe you're introduced to that person by a leader, boy, I tell you what, bookmark that person. Stay in touch with them. Because it doesn't matter. The interesting thing about our compensation plan is that, to be a platinum, you have to have 3 gold legs. It doesn't say where, whether it's on your first, second, or third, or if it's 50 levels down. If those golds are 50 levels down, and each leg doesn't matter. You can be a platinum. So it's definitely worth staying in touch with those people that you find that they have special talent or ability. Stay in touch. Mentor them. Get them on these calls. Make sure they're using the system. The third thing is stay on the hunt. You existing leaders, don't retire. I haven't retired. I still work through my leaders to find better leaders. Even George earlier, I heard his voice and we were talking. George even put a gentleman on the phone that he just recently sponsored. Use your upline. Don't abuse them, but use them. And know that we want to help you be successful in this business. I really do. I mean, nothing makes me happier than seeing your face on the Summit magazine. So definitely stay in touch with me and let me know how I can help you in any way I can. But while you leaders are still moving up, you're wanting to go through the ranks. You want to advance yourself, either from presidential to international to gold to platinum. You got to stay on the hunt. And that is, you're looking for people. So don't retire. I saw leaders in this in-for life. I won't say who, but I've seen leaders that, years ago, I saw that they were in retirement mode, and I thought, oh, wow, that's way too soon. Way too soon. And now they're struggling. Bad mistake. Stay on the hunt until your organization is solid. Absolutely solid. The fourth is have a professional website up, always. Maintain it. And a professional LinkedIn page as well as a Facebook business page where your leaders can keep up with what's happening with you. They can see what's going on. Some of you leaders, and George was talking about how at a trip I just came back from, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, some of those beautiful old cities in American history, and they have these beautiful homes down there, and it motivated him to watch Gone with the Wind. Well, you know what? That's the thing. My leaders know what I'm doing. They know because I post it on my page. I let them see what's going on. Let them get to know more about your life and more about you as a person. Once that happens, then they'll start bonding with you better. The fifth is have a personal growth program in place for you. And that is, keep in mind that, your organization isn't going to grow any bigger than you. If you have a personal growth program in place, and I'm talking about where you've, you're being mentored, and the people that you've chose to mentor you, people that you might have looked up to. In my case, it was Anthony Robbins. They had a big impact on me when I was getting started. It really helped me. It gave me a lot of vision and gave me a lot of confidence. With some, it might be John Maxwell, Jim Rohn. For others, the list can go on and on. And there's a lot of fine books. Make sure that you're doing that you have a program going on. Make sure you're going through a book once a month. and buy more books than you can possibly read. That's what I do. I got a stack right now I haven't had time to get to. But I've always have more books than I can read, and so I don't just sit around and watch TV. I don't do that. No. It's okay to do it now and then. Nothing wrong with that. Or catch a little bit each day if you want. That's fine. But make sure you spend time with yourself, because if you're growing, then you're excited, and excitement is contagious. If your leaders see that you're excited, they're excited. If you're motivated, they're motivated. If you have speed, they have speed. That's important. Remember that plane. You want to build that momentum. You want to get off that off that runway, and you want your leaders to do the same. And remember, find your balance. That was the sixth thing. Find your balance. That is, be in an exercise program where you're taking care of yourself physically, because what you are physically affects your mind. And what affects your emotions is your mind. What affects your motivation? Your emotions. So, exercise. Take care of yourself emotionally. Remember that, you came in this business for reasons. Maybe it's your family, you love your children, your spouse. Take time for that. And again, your personal growth, very important. Your spirituality, very important. Those 4 areas there, to find that balance. And then follow up and follow through with your leaders. That is, stay in touch. That was the one thing Napoleon Bonaparte was very great at doing with his own generals. When he ate, he didn't eat alone. He ate with his generals. He was in touch with them. Alexander the Great, same thing. Matter of fact, he would walk through his camps and speak to his leaders personally and recount experiences, former battles that they were in. And he would reinforce his confidence in those men. And then after a battle, he wouldn't even treat his own wounds. He would treat theirs first. He always put his people first. Follow up and follow through with your leaders. Always know what's going on in your team and stay in touch. So do that. Do that. Your first 90 days, your next 90 days, and when that 90 days is over, look back and ask yourself, what did I accomplish in this 90-day period? And then set a new 90-day game plan. A new 90-day game plan, goals that you want to achieve, growth you want to experience, things that you want to see happen within your organization. I hope you do that. I'm glad you made this Monday mentoring call, and I wish you all the success this first week. We're in spring now. Hey, it's change, isn't it? Coming out of the winter now. So now dream big. Set some goals. Work with the people in your group. Those are the people that are building your future. You need to help them build theirs. I hope you do that. I'm going to unmute now this call, and then we can all say goodbye, good night, or anything you want to say. That's fine. Thanks for making the call. Hang on.